Hello, friends. So, no makeup on yet. Getting ready to go out for a birthday. But I wanted to film this. So, this is going to be some of my theories as well as the review on season 5, episode 20 Pretty Isn't the Point. Um, I didn't watch anyone else's videos. I didn't watch PLL Freaks 13s yet. I like to do my video without seeing anyone else's thoughts. I think it's a little bit more fun because then I can see what they think or if I interpret something different. Before I start, they kept showing us 4 episodes to a big reveal. And Keegan Allen, Toby, has been saying that it's the heartbreakingly beautiful betrayal. Well, not betrayal. He didn't say that, but I'm sure that's what it's going to be. Before the episode, I actually wrote down there was an article in Cosmo with Cece. What's her last name? Ryan or Ray or something. She said that Marlene King, Trojan Spencer, Trojan, however you say her name, and then also the character Cece will be like they know who A is. So I'm thinking, why would Spencer know if it wasn't her father? Which, if you think about it, Mr. Hastings would be amazing because if you just go back to how he's connected to Jason, just a zillion things. Like, if it was a parent, like I said before, it would be crazy. I really don't think it's Melissa. Toby, like it would be somebody that's connected to her. I would assume so. But then we see Keegan Allen saying, "Oh, he knows who A is, apparently." And then I saw in that article said that everybody knows except for Aria, Lucy Hale. And I'm like, how does everybody know? Like, why does one article say this and that? Like, who really knows who A is? Like, I really want to know. But anyways, my A reveal guess, and this character has been my guess from the first time they were on the show. And I've also mentioned it in almost every single recap recently, I believe. And of course, that's Caleb. I've just ever since the beginning, if you remember, if you go back to all of my PLL clues videos, from the Giddy Up, pretty much he was programming the phones for the whole school. And remember, like, A can manipulate their phones and send them anonymous messages. That would be something that somebody tech savvy would be able to do. He also had access to, I believe, Mona's phone at some time, all the girls' phones, Noel, Jenna, I think, everybody's phones. Okay. Also, he's very tech savvy. He knows, computer stuff. And also, the minute that he came back to Rosewood from Ravenswood, then everything started happening again. And then he's also played a very, very close role, into the plot recently, and it makes him able to manipulate things. Also, he could have easily put Kate's name on that list and then showed it to Hanna, which it was crazy, right? Because of course they wouldn't show us that, but it totally makes sense. And also, I'm gonna give this one to my girl Ellie, PLL Obsessed. I don't know, is that still your name on here? I remembered this, but she mentioned this today when we were powwowing about this. That when they were in Ravenswood, Grunwald said, "He is here in Ravenswood," and then we think it's Ezra, right? But then remember, Caleb was in Ravenswood, and that was the episode that he was going to be leaving. That was the last episode we were going to see him, and he met that girl, and then he was telling Hanna that he was staying in Ravenswood. So, interesting. And the fact that they say it's heartbreakingly beautiful, it's interesting because everybody's like, why would Caleb be A? Okay, I said to her, maybe Caleb has the twin. Maybe it's Mona. Maybe it's somebody. There has to be another side to this. I'm not convinced that he's necessarily A. I'm just convinced that he's a part of the team. But it also could be another red herring, like we discussed that, Toby joined to save Spencer, supposedly. I still don't believe that. Or to help Spencer get information or for his mother, But Caleb may have done something similar to try to help Hanna. I don't know, but now all of a sudden Hannah's the one being framed. So if he's really on the A team, like, what the hell, right? Maybe he's still holding a grudge on, her seeing somebody else when he was gone or whatever. So that, I just want to get that aside, that my guess at this point, I may explore other options. We have 4 more episodes, so that means I have 3 more of these videos before that finale, and maybe I'll try to come up with a few more other guesses. I have a few guesses, but like Caleb, to me, is just such a great reveal and a guess, and it would make totally sense that it would be heartbreakingly, because if you think about it right now, like, it's not going to be Toby. He already was revealed, and it's not going to be Talia because it's Emily, and then, like, is it going to be Ezra again? Like, probably not, right? So, like, who is it going to be? But maybe it could be a sibling. Maybe it would be Mike. But I don't, because they are talking so much about him, and, like, we hear this story, which I want to believe. I mean, why wouldn't we believe it? I don't think it's Mike now. I always thought he was suspect. So those are just my guesses. What do you think? Do you think the A reveal could be Caleb? Ever since he's come back, and then all of a sudden the messages started again, right? And then just everything. Like, he was showing Arya how to, like, use that computer system, remember? And then he was working closely with Spencer and Emily at some point. Like, he's been very close to the girls, more so ever than any season. And I always thought, like, why is he chilling with Spencer right now? Or why is he helping Arya learn this? Or, like, yeah, I understand, like, that's your best friend's boyfriend or whatever, but I think that's a little strange. Maybe it's me, but every time that he was having this individual time with each of the girls, I thought, this is really weird. But I bet you that there's a reason for it. So, okay, so this episode, they're searching Mike's room, and they find a necklace that I guess means I'm with you or something on it. And they're like, does this mean he's with Allie or whatever? We come to find out at the end of the episode, which I'll get into, it actually was kind of like a present for Mona that Mike isn't sure is alive or not, and I'll get into that at the end. God, my phone's just blowing up. So Mike gets 2 coffees. They think it's for somebody. He said it was just a long night. I loved that there was a Hogwarts mention. I believe Johnny said it to Spencer, or Spencer said it about her. I think it says not being sent to Hogwarts. I'm like watching, finally. I've watched the first 3 before, so I rewatched the first 3 Harry Potter movies, and now I'm working through the rest. And the fact that I was watching at the same time was kind of cool. So Toby's acting weird. He's very awkward. And we see Mike's anger. He comes in the house. Andrew is tutoring Arya again. And we see Mike's anger. And then she asks Andrew to spy, which another thing to me would be interesting if, like, Andrew was on the A team, which I think I said in the last video. I can never remember anymore. But he's kind of nerdy and offbeat, and he may have been bullied in some sense or something, and then part of, like, the Lucas being bullied and all Mona being bullied. He probably was a part of that group, so maybe he is part of the A team. I mean, that would be interesting, right? They found out that the murals that they did, that illegal mural at Hollis, were, like, removed and then sold to a gallery, and one of them was actually sold to a buyer, and they were like, these are mine. So Johnny decides he's going to steal his murals. We find out that Kate's going to be in the pageant too, apparently. Spencer's getting in trouble for Johnny. Why? Yeah, why? Like, Toby finds them after they go to a gas station or something. He lets her go. And why is she sacrificing so much for this kid? Like, she's such an idiot. Like, she really is. Arya starts following Mike, I believe that is. Oh, yeah, so when they're doing this, I skipped ahead, but when they're stealing those murals, like, the last mural comes down and then the alarm goes off. Like, come on, really? Like, that was so corny. Mike and Arya are in the woods, and Mike catches Arya following him, and he puts something in, like, a tree, and it's blood, and we find out that she goes, why are you giving my blood? And he goes, I'm not giving it, it's Mona's. And then, we see this flashback of Mona's literally taking her own blood and she has like a refrigerator of her blood in her room. And she drops it and spills everywhere and everything. So then we find out that Kate actually did not sign up for the pageant, which is funny because, I mean, maybe her mother didn't want her to do it. Maybe that's how it was manipulated. Or like I said, whoever's on the A team, whether it was Caleb. Caleb was the one that told her. So yeah, then we see Johnny, is veiled out by Mrs. Hastings, and then she kicks him out of the house, and Spencer and Johnny kiss. It was so corny. I thought, why is this happening? Like, I don't even like Spoby, but like, why is she doing this stupid shit? Because all of a sudden Toby can't see her every second. Like, he has a career, and he's trying to find out the truth of something going on with her friends and something that's been haunting them for years, and then she just goes and cheats on him. Like, I'm sorry, to me, kissing is cheating. So then we see what happens. That we found the story out about Mike. Mike apparently surprised Mona, shows up to her house a few days before Thanksgiving, and he sees her with blood in the refrigerator of her blood and stuff. And he finds out that she was offered a chance to help the girls and to expose A, and that pretty much this plan would set Allie up for murder, and she would be able to talk directly to A and go away somewhere, and then she'll come back, and then Allie will get out of jail, and this whole thing, she'll be able to finally find out who it is. So, but then she hasn't come back. She hasn't responded to any of Mike's messages, and which is something, I really didn't, honestly, they said that she was really dead. So I think, like they said, maybe A really just killed her before the person that was helping them, whatever, could help her. So maybe she died anyways. And then we found out that Allie wasn't around, that Cyrus was, his job was to get her out of town at that time so that she couldn't kind of stop this plan from going into action. And the blood that he leaves, and the blood that she gave him was a promise that she would come back. So I was really overwhelmed by it, and it was really interesting to see Mike like that. I don't think he's the best actor. I really don't, but that's okay. He's young, and his character is a little strange, so maybe it's kind of how they have him act. But remember, Mike has the anger problems, and it is in the Montgomery's bloodline, to have some sort of mental illness. The uncle is very mentally ill, and remember, he went through depression for a while, so maybe he has bipolar or something, a personality disorder, something. Maybe that's going to come out, Then apologize to Allie. I forget what that was about, the apology to Allie. Oh, the girls. So then they realize, oh my God, they hear this story. Arya tells them, and they think, oh my God, how are we going to apologize to Allie? Like, she's really not A. That's what they think right now, Then the A scene is in Mike's room. Has a wrench, and what is he loosening? And then we see in the thing that he actually loosened his weight bench, I believe, so he falls and then the weight will fall on him, and which is it. It's kind of stupid because all the other kind of A things that they do, like they did with Toby and the scaffolding, and like things are very dangerous, okay? And then this is like he's gonna fall on his weight bench, like, really? Maybe it's somebody close to Mike. So that's my thoughts. This is the longest thing I've done in a while, but this was one of the best episodes in a while. Not a lot happened towards the end, but we finally got some sort of thing now. Like I said in other episodes as well, I said, oh, I bet she's faking her death. She helped Allie do it. Why wouldn't she fake her own death? It's all coming to play. So now we just need to find out, is she really dead or not? Is she going to come back? And who's the A? Is it Caleb? If you think about it, Caleb and Mona could be twins, right? Think about that for a second. Think about that, and I'll talk to you next week.